Welcome to Twisted Monday. And you are seeing this right. Twisted Metal Harbor City is real. An actual game that we are actually going to play. Done it before. We looked at a prototype once. But that was a very, very unfinished prototype. This is a much, much further along prototype. In case you're unfamiliar, Twisted Metal Harbor City is the legendary sequel to the very popular Twisted Metal Black, and it never came out because it was never finished. But it became surprisingly close to being finished at one point. And there were a lot of obstacles preventing it from ever being playable, even in this prototype state, so I've never been able to look at it. But those obstacles have been overcome. You'll notice severe lack of music. That tends to be one of the last things they add to a video game during development, so I'll supply my own. So there are these levels where you can just, do fun stuff and combat and violence. And then there's mission and story modes, which both seem to be very interesting, full-fledged games that we really ought to take a look at. Starting with story mode. And in a lot of ways, yeah, this is comparable to Thrill Kill. I would not say the game is as complete as Thrill Kill, because we looked at Thrill Kill and that just is a video game. It could have shipped. This could not have shipped in its current state, but it is a video game. So we'll see exactly what I mean very soon. Our vehicles are most of the ones that were available in Twisted Metal Black, plus some ones that weren't. And some that they never even bothered to name. And the occasional Pit Viper, finally making a triumphant return. Every game wants to have Pit Viper back, and it is a curse. Every time they try, that game gets canceled. So, the logical choice would be Sweet Tooth. Sweet Tooth's giant head on top of his car never goes transparent. I found that out in testing, and it covers way too much of the screen, and I want to see all the new environments and art assets and stuff. So, the logical choice there is now Mr. Grimm. Kill 3 opponents to advance. And look at this. This is, good looking. If you were to purchase a game and this is the first thing you saw on booting it up, you would not be upset. I don't think this level was even in the last prototype we looked at, or else it was so unfinished as to be unrecognizable compared to this. "42 points of damage. That's silly. I didn't realize Grimm was this powerful in Harbor City." Bit of a graphical error where my scythe is staying with me in spirit. There we go, I fixed that. But I can't fix it for long. I guess I will just have a floating scythe for the rest of my life. A sword of Damocles. Sorta. Well, I gotta make sure my special hits, because it's ridiculous. I also gotta keep alive. Because one of the drawbacks of this game is you get 3 lives and no apparent save points. I don't know exactly what happens when we run out of lives, but I assume we just lose story mode. Lots of destructibles. Their animations are a bit lacking, but they're still there. Still functional. billboards that we can barely see. I think at least one of those is directly out of Head On. Here we go. This ought to be lethal. Sweet Tooth down. Kill animations don't exist. When a vehicle dies, it just sort of stops moving where it was. Environmental weapons, eh? Oh yeah, they work. Couldn't tell, but yeah, I died there. You've even got skill-based pickups, which just got stolen by Outlaw. Enemies love to run away, I've discovered to my chagrin. Another one down. We only need to kill 3 enemies, even though there are greater than 3 enemies. And another outlaw. That outlaw is uninjured, so probably should have gone for him anyway. Mr. Slam's still a nightmare. If you're going to bring any game from the rest of the franchise into this one, Mr. Slam is probably the one you should choose last. One of the only things that ever balanced Mr. Slam was the fact that he was in kind of shoddy, unfinished games. Okay, it's not fair to call Twisted Metal 2 unfinished, but it's shoddy enough that Mr. Slam is way too hard to use for any sort of tactical abuse of his special. And back here. He's dead. So we win the level. Now what? We go where the green box is on the minimap and move to the next level manually. You don't get teleported there. This is one of those things that was mentioned in Twisted Metal Lost. The partially completed version of a lot of these levels included on Twisted Metal Head On. Levels are interconnected, so when you win one, you drive yourself over to the next one. This is cool and a total waste of time. This is in no way better than the way that every other Twisted Metal game has worked. Just a fun little gimmick. And it did cause the development to increase in its scope to absolutely ludicrous degrees. It's one of the reasons this is not playable on a regular emulator. The reason we've never been able to play this game in its current form, what we're seeing now, is because it could only be played on a developer console. Like a legit testing console. Which, those are extremely rare, and not very many of them exist. Because the game just takes up way too much RAM, or whatever. But we finally found a version of the emulator capable of playing these poorly optimized games. Take that, building. So it has been noted that our special is absolutely obscenely broken. 42 damage is way, way, way too much. Every other special in this game seems to have been nerfed significantly. Like when I was testing the other vehicles, their specials did about 12 damage. Grim does 42. It's the life, universe, and everything. Share your meat with her. She has 2 wieners. Glad to see they didn't get too mature when making this game. Because the very early prototype we saw was outright not safe for work. It had so many immature and inappropriate jokes. Look at this. Made a cool little like valley between 2 collapsed buildings. That's awesome. And I just died. That looked like Shadow, but that must have been Thumper. I don't think Shadow is in this game. We'll see as we carry on. My odds of any sort of success are very low at this point. Outlaw is supposed to do that. He's an outlaw. He doesn't obey any laws, including the laws of physics. All I care about is he's not an opponent. So you stay up there. Guy's got 1 HP. I think I needed to kill 5 people, and I don't know where I'm at, but I think you're allowed to leave 2 per level. You can explore so much stuff. These levels are really, really well made. They're a little big, so that they end up being kind of empty feeling. But there's all sorts of destructibles and like cars driving around. Also, enemy aggression is pretty obscene. And even in these huge levels, they are going to hound you non-stop. Also, we can apparently climb into an office building from another collapsed office building. Live out our Fast and the Furious dreams. I assume in a finished game they would have put collectibles on top of these buildings that we can climb on top of. Nonetheless, we have just annihilated this cityscape. Get back here. Low health enemies don't seem to try to heal themselves, but they do run away. And for some reason, they're really hard to catch up to, even though Mr. Grimm is supposed to be very fast. It seems like they just always have turbo speed. Just don't really care about abusing it. Anyway. Achieve victory. We can at least see 1 more level. If I can find the exit. This whole find the green box on the minimap thing, that is ill-conceived. There really needs to be a better way to figure out where you're going. Because I get lost trying to escape the level every single time. Oh, this ain't it. Goodbye, cruel world. Thankfully, I just respawned back in bounds. By inbounds, I mean underneath the rubble. So, if I were a green square, whereabouts would I be? There's no indication of verticality in the minimap. seems like it's somewhere underneath the rubble. Maybe it's through here, yeah. New highway. For a new level. I am gonna throw down save state. Probably throw down another one once I actually get into the level. This is a surprisingly long transitional highway. There we go. Apparently I can hold 5 of my special. That's obscene. It's many hundreds of damages. Sometimes when you pick up a new item, it swaps to that item automatically. And that can be a real problem when that new item you get is your special, which regenerates at a fixed interval. Because you will essentially just swap your weapons randomly. But I haven't been experiencing that with Mr. Grimm. I did some practice just to make sure this wasn't too good to be true and would actually play. I played as Pit Viper. Pit Viper would not have been a good character to show off because Pit Viper has lots and lots of broken animations and just obviously unfinished Pit Viper. Look at that, it's the Carnival of Screams, or whatever it's called. But only parts of it. These are parts that we couldn't go to in Twisted Metal Lost. Oh, that's real Outlaw. No, it's not. Wishful thinking. I thought that was a SWAT car Outlaw. Not this shitty cop car Outlaw. Two specials should have been lethal. Would have been lethal in Twisted Metal Black. That game is way better balanced than this one. More interested in exploring than actually fighting, but this is clearly a legitimate game. Like, this is full-fledged gameplay. You could reasonably just sit back and do full playthroughs of this, and I probably will come back to this game. Likely a bunch of times. And do full playthroughs the same way I have with, like, Twisted Metal Black and 1 and 2 and all those. I did test out Axel, and the Axel's special does not do 23 damage per hit. It does still do like 18 damage per hit. That is apparently the majority of my health bar as Mr. Grimm. Another one down. Ridiculously overpowered. Got the Devil Train. Thankfully, the lava doesn't actually hurt us. In fact, it heals us. I thought the other levels were huge. This one is obscene. I could spend like an hour just wandering around this level. There's so much to see. And this giant lopsided tower just begging to be knocked over. Maybe there's a way to knock it over. I'm gonna try. Doesn't look like it's gonna get knocked over. Good for you, unstable tower. Where's that gazebo? Right here. There's a bunch of plus signs on the minimap. And every time I've tried to go to any of the plus signs, they've been, like, in inaccessible areas. So I have no idea what the plus signs indicate. If they're refill platforms, then I don't know how to get to them. Gas cans seem to have actual proximity-based damage, where they didn't in Twisted Metal Lost. So what do we know about Harbor City? It was started immediately after Twisted Metal Black. This Black was such a huge success. I know Jaffe dropped out pretty much immediately to work on God of War, which anyone can agree was a good choice on his part. Obviously, though, people would have preferred he'd stayed on to make this game happen. Oh, did I just beat the game? Maybe. Are we gonna see Mr. Grimm's ending? That's probably too much to ask for, but yeah, I guess that's the game in its current state. This is not all the levels, though. There are a lot more levels. And they should probably just get stuffed into story mode here, but because they have these transitional highways, you can't just slot them in. You need to make a whole interlocking system before you can get between each level. They really hoisted themselves on their own petard. Okay, we got a green box somewhere. Maybe that green box will do something if I can actually get to it. It ain't here. Must be in the carnival. That did not look like I had gotten to the green box, but... here we are, sewer level. I don't know that this is actually how we get anywhere. Nope. We're going to Goth. Eventually. They did not mess around with this level transition. Here we go. Up. Immediately fell through the floor. So we're at the mall level. One of the best and most complete levels in the last build that we saw. That is a refill platform. Good stuff. Pretty sure this version is much, much more complete than the already kind of complete version we saw last time I looked at Harbor City. The shops are certainly much more complete. They appear to all be having trouble with their power bill, with all the flickering neon signs. But they look a lot better. They're not just Comic Sans with Uncle Pedo's written on them. That's an actual joke from the previous build of Harbor City. Enemy behavior is functional. Didn't work at all in the last build of Harbor City. But here, it definitely provides a reasonable challenge, and their behavior sort of makes a little bit of sense, but they do tend to move in like straight lines and stuff. Oh, Sweet Tooth's head is having a hard time. Appear to have been floating well above the vehicle itself. Yeah, their behavior leaves a lot to desire. The level continuing to exist when you turn your head slightly, not always a guarantee. As we can see many times over. There's the occasional ghost car. Yeah, this whole parking lot is extremely unfinished. But I could totally have gotten on top of the roof there. You'd have all sorts of secret pickups over there. And mini-game teleporters, I bet, were probably in the cards. They halted work on Harbor City to make Head-On instead. That game was supposed to have a pretty small scope. Just be a PSP launch title. They wanted to crank that out quickly and then get back to Harbor City, and then they did get back to Harbor City. This build that we're looking at is from much later than the release of Head On. I haven't used any of my zoomies. Also, we don't appear to have caps on how much of any weapon we can carry. That's pretty potentially devastating. With zoomies, you have to hold the fire button and then release when you get a full charge, otherwise you backfire. There's no indication of how many missiles down in the corner there actually constitutes a full charge. Just gotta backfire at least once while paying attention. Extrapolate from there. But even fully charged zoomies are only doing 27 damage. So they are all worthless in the face of my 42 damage. And the special regenerates often enough that I really just don't need to use anything else. But normally once we get down to 2 enemies left, that is when we get to advance, but I'm not seeing any suggestions that we advance. This might be the end of the line. I mean, we're already one level further than I expected, so I would not be too upset if that were the case. Little upset. Seems like the remaining enemies are miles and miles out of bounds, which is a common issue in, to a lesser extent, Head On, but all over Lost. Enemies are constantly going to other dimensions and never coming back. So it's possible that through no fault of our own, this is just going to be the end of the line. That's fine. I mean, we got the "you win" text. That means we win. So I'm about ready to declare victory on story mode of Twisted Metal Harbor City. People are already speedrunning this game. It has a leaderboard on speedrun.com. This is some legit stuff. I honestly would not have minded if they had just put this out as is. It would have been a legendary disaster that Sony never would have lived down, but I still would have loved it. Oh, there he is. T-Pose Man. Postal dude let himself go. That guy was in the last build. I thought he'd been removed entirely. You legitimately just can't enter this level without falling to the floor. Alright, there's no further enemies. There's a lot of these sword fronts to look at, but we got mission mode to look at as well. I looked at all these banners, and the one with the nudity has been removed. There used to be a banner with actual topless women on it. No longer. They were so close to release. They'll tragically never make it. Calling that a victory. Now let's see what the hell mission mode is about. I don't know what this means specifically. It does look like we have 7 missions to do. Here's our movie, and what a movie it is. If we don't mash buttons quickly enough, we get lowered into electrified water and die instantly. This is Sweet Tooth's execution day. And for some reason, L1 is jump. And triangle is climb a ladder. Beat up more cops. I guess they're Asylum wardens or something. Oh, we're looking for the warden. They're Asylum guards. Yappy was off making Kratos happen. The rest of the team made this third-person action game. I think one cop just killed the other one. Works for me. There's no real sound effects. The section was playable in Lost. Nice. The axe certainly wasn't in Lost, though. There was no combat there. Wheelchair. Better keep this place accessible, or I will bludgeon you to death with a wheelchair. That is a promise. He's got a gun, and I still managed to sneak up on him with an entire wheelchair and kill him. I kind of love this combat. It is in a horrible state, but it scratches a certain itch. Okay, I was able to squeeze around him. You gotta be careful because there's a lot of geometry touching, and that makes it really easy to clip into these little structures in the wall. If you do that, you are not getting out, and there are no failsafes because this is woefully incomplete. I know that I should trust the signage. It'll get me where I need to go. This is a recipe for not being able to advance, but I advanced. It's a miracle. No concept art to be found out here. War of the Monsters machine? Yeah, War of the Monsters machine. Love to see it. Camera's more than a little awkward. Hope I don't have to backtrack to find the correct path that I shirked earlier. Okay, for some reason this is 2D. Why was that 2D? Gets to the control room. And who's this fine-dressed fellow? It's one of the executives from Sony that we get to execute. What's this? Oh, a gun. This is incredibly Splatterhouse 2010. But it predates Splatterhouse 2010 by a very wide margin. I forget when this build is from, but I think it's late 2005 or a little later. Anyway, I got a gun. Back in the 2D. Oh, that is such a walk cycle. That is one of the walk cycles of all time. But I'm backtracking. Should not have gone to the pit. Should have gone to... I did go to the rec room. And I wrecked it. How far back am I going to have to go? Damn you, doorway corpses. You're going to soft lock me, I just know it. Okay. I assume we have finite ammo for this shotgun. I haven't had anyone to kill with it yet. Oh, these are the first few people I killed. Yeah, I guess I ran out of ammo, so now it's on to pistol whipping. Past all the empty cells, they cleared out the entire asylum just for me. And we still totally outsmarted them. Alright, nothing in the electrical room. The chance I have absolutely no idea how to get out of here, and may, as a result, have to just quit back out to the main menu and manually swap to the next mission. If the doorway corpses give me a hard time, I'm just gonna skip to the next mission. This is the fabled out-of-vehicle section. One of many that were apparently planned. Where you play as Sweet Tooth and Preacher. And just do stuff. On foot. Seems like a great source for unintentional comedy. I mean, janky PS2 violence, that's a good time in my book. That is a combination of three of my favorite concepts. And they taste great together. Be respectful to steal the ammo from his shotgun. Oh, hi. They're slowly wearing my health down. Unless they really ramp up their numbers, though. Or place their shotgunners at really good positions, like that guy. They don't stand much chance of getting me. So we're getting close to the end. Okay, that guy's invincible. Literally invincible. I had to say something. Now I'm getting hunted by the indestructible guard. They brought out the big guns. Oh great, I need an ID card. Well, that was unlucky. Look at him all smug. Incapable of dying. There were a few routes we didn't take. Maybe that guy was dying, but he just had a ridiculous amount of health. And probably was holding an ID card. Only one way to find out. But it's also entirely possible that he was not obeying the law. The law that says human beings have to die when either kill the injured. Oh, my hair has been put out. And we did see that when I paused the game, I become a car. Floating in nothing. Seems like enemies die a lot faster with a weapon. Oh. Gotta be careful, though. Because if you're not directly head-on with the ladder, you'll just throw your weapon away. I just said I like these things. Sure. So now I can kill enemies before they get close enough to hit me. And that way I won't have my life drain quite as rapidly, I hope. Shotgunners are all facing the wrong way, because if they didn't, we'd die instantly. By which I mean suffer bullet wounds that do significantly less damage than they should. Serpentine my way in. And do the corpse op. The shotgun did not serve me well, so I won't take the detour to get it. I'm just now understanding that if you move, you cannot attack, no matter how many times you hit the attack button. Really, you would think that the control room would be the place that has the key card. Oh, whatever, it's right here. Give me the key card. Yeah, it's the only real location of interest. Got another Undying guy. Seems like there's a minimum range where we can't actually hurt anything. That is at least part of the problem.
You can't stop it. My weapon, you can't handle it. Yeah, my pride, no stopping it. My weapon, I like that's right. In a world of hate, with a twist of fate, survival come down to the moves you make. Deal with waste, this chaos base won't stop till this evil erase. On a mission with murderous tendencies, all I do is annihilate enemies. Ain't nothing left in the world for me, so I gotta take pride in my weaponry. All I got is raw hostility.
Enemies don't really try to get within your minimum range, it seems. Another shotgun stuck in the wall. I get a different idle animation. I'm about to die. I've killed just about everybody. Didn't see any ID cards. So, time to cheat. We know how this level goes. How is this mission to go? Avoid roadblocks and find the police impound block. Actual driving in a Twisted Metal game. Still no sound effects. This is much less finished than the story mode was. It's charmingly sloppy. Out of the way. Told me to avoid roadblocks, but it seemed like the only option there was to bowl right through. This is a neat change of pace. You do like a little, basically a race instead of a battle. Like a Need for Speed style race. Every Twisted Metal game has tried to expand the scope and change the basic formula as much as possible, while still keeping it being a Twisted Metal game. Hey, look at that. An actual cutscene. But we're not allowed through the tunnel. You gotta go back to the water tower. But yeah, it looks like they wanted to, after Twisted Metal Black, change every aspect of the formula to the point of absurdity. Just leave it entirely unrecognizable. We didn't even do anything there. We just happened to witness a helicopter crash. And that solved our problems. That was like a Thelma and Louise leap of fate. And into Blackfield Asylum, where we apparently want to be. Wonder where I should go next. I guess Sweet Tooth the vehicle is in the impound lot. So presumably there was a keycard somewhere in that first mission. Maybe the last guard you kill drops a keycard or something. I'd spend way too much time there to bother finding out when I could just skip it. More than anything, what we're seeing here kind of misses the point of Twisted Metal. Like, if you booted up the game, and immediately it had you on foot as soon as you press new game, running around beating up cops, and then you get out of that area and you're just driving around an ambulance. You would not say, I am playing Twisted Metal. You would say, what have I just spent money on? And why? But the story mode that we played earlier, that was legit. Wish the green arrow would despawn. Okay. Can I go to the impound lot now? Apparently I can't. I think I'm gonna have to go to the main menu and cheat my way into the next level again. Which is another level that we've seen. At least I assume so. Doesn't immediately look familiar. That's more like it. What is this? Call that a dog? Not anymore. And after so many Twisted Metal games, avoided letting you kill the dog. Harbor City, how far you have fallen in my esteem. Trying to use the barrel as a shield from bullets, which I'm clearly holding this barrel in a very realistic fashion. The race truck is here. My Tesla. Everyone's got to find the worst thing you can do with a truck. Or a thing that isn't a truck and you just call it a truck anyway. Because nothing in that image was a truck. Are you alive? Okay, R1 is the jump. So if this stuff actually kills me the way that Twisted Metal Lost warned me it would, I might die here. Okay, mantled up. Seems like those are supposed to be conveyor belts, but they aren't. Maybe in the finished game they would be. Oh, another scary dog. looks like a deer. Just an antlerless deer. Another one. No witnesses. Whoops. Keep forgetting that L1 is jump. Pretty sure in Lost, one of the face buttons was jump, because that makes sense. Head up there. Alright, our basic attack is atrocious compared to our weapon attack. One assumes if this were more finished, you'd be able to, like, do manhunt stuff. All this trash all over the place. These killing machines. Okay. I'm so scared. I could just walk right through. Should have known. Yep. Could sort of use a lock-on. Maybe there is a lock-on in one of these shoulder buttons. Nope. No death floor. Or really any floor to speak of. Up. Got a whole army of dogs. How will I survive? The mission mode is really the kind of garbage nonsense that I was hoping for. After story mode was an actually, like, good game. If you play unfinished games, you want a certain degree of trash. And this more than delivers. I'm gonna have to platform onto that tiny thing. No, I'm gonna have to climb, right? Yeah. And shimmy. Oh, that is a slow shimmy. But who can blame him? He's holding an entire engine block in one hand while shimmying. Oh, great. There was a way to climb up all along. Surely there's some, deadly cops in the mechanic shop. There is supposed to be a way to get to the other side. This is supposed to, be something. Okay. I can climb up if I'm very, very careful. The only tools at my disposal are punch and jump. I forgot about one of them. That lighthouse indicates where my car is. Yay! A beautiful reunion, which leads nowhere. Still gotta manually jump to the next level. Nope. even less so. Okay, downtown cop battle. This should be an actual vehicle fight against nothing but outlaws. Now, many outlaws remains to be seen. Special seems to work in weird, inefficient ways. And I had to wait for the entire animation to go up before I'm allowed to fire my special. And the animation got stuck halfway through. Okay, we're up to 3 outlaws. I don't know where item locations are in this game, and that is a huge part of playing a Twisted Metal game. It's memorizing everything everywhere in each new level you get to. Oh no, I've died. And there's no end screen. So I'm just invisible for the rest of my days, getting attacked by outlaws. Let's pretend I succeeded there. Maybe there would have been a hilarious unfinished cutscene if I'd actually beaten that. And maybe someday I'll find out for sure. And then the other inmates appear to have gotten their vehicles. Good for them. I like the idea of there being such a dedicated story mode. For some reason, none of the games can pull it off. 2012 had the dedicated story mode for each of the 3 characters, and it sucked. And this does not seem like it would have ended up being very fun. Oh, this was destructible all along. I gotta stop underestimating this game. Everything seems interactable. Okay, in addition to the roller coaster, we got a water ride. And it's a pain in the ass to navigate. There's actually sort of a conveyor that pulls you up when you're on that extremely steep incline there. Seemed for a second like I wouldn't be able to make it. Merry-go-round's gotta go. Oh, the giant tower did come down. I knew it would. Surely this'll explode and possibly fall across the level. I don't know how to break that. That was easy enough, though. It seems like it is just Preacher and Mr. Grimm here. Okay, Spectre's here too, but that still is going to make for an extremely sparse combat experience. I'm not going to bother with that either. I don't think I'm satisfied with how thoroughly I have wrecked this area. I don't see any still functional attractions, so blew you up in the main level. Actually, I don't think I did. I don't even know what that little dinky thing was. Ooh, and the zipper. Those things are on the verge of exploding anyway, at any given carnival. And modern art installations that appear to be indestructible. Tower of Terror, more aptly named than ever. And the Devil's Mound we have seen. Frankly, too much of. So there we go. And there's still more levels beyond this. What could chase the mole me? My steering is utterly fucked right now, and I don't know why. Sweet Tooth is just kind of doing stuff of its own accord. You do not want Sweet Tooth to have a mind of his own. What? Okay, it seems I'm in control again. Just needed to make my vehicle scream in terror and pain. And then I propelled myself through a wall and fell out of bounds. That's fine and good. This is another reason that I didn't use Sweet Tooth in story mode. What is this? Why do I keep charging like a madman? So for some reason, Sweet Tooth Special has been replaced with Dark Side Special. And it's clearly doing me a lot of favors. Also, I'm just arbitrarily teleporting great distances occasionally. So for some reason, even though this is the same level that we played last time with no particular problem, this level is just about completely unplayable. Clearly, Brimstone snuck some kind of remote control device into our vehicle and is making us occasionally teleport out of existence. Like this. Damn you, Brimstone, you nefarious creature, you. I'm getting out of this level. This level does not work. Each mission of this has gotten more and more broken. I'm kind of impressed. Now we're in the mall. On foot in the mall. This kind of rules, actually. And we didn't see the food court last time. I don't want to have to do any combat here. But I love how easily we can read all the signage. There's not much of it. There's some. Never before has the drop in Vampire's Teeth been more of a letdown. But hey, this is the mall. And I can wander the whole damn thing. That means the food court might have been accessible when I was in a car. I just didn't happen to check that area. Whoosh. Knew that was not ground. I went there anyway. Goodbye, mall. You served us well. You were improved dramatically from the earlier build that I had to see. And indeed, goodbye, Twisted Metal Harbor City. I think that was the last mission, yeah. The only other thing we can really do, I haven't seen what Old Pickup even is. There's 2 harbor levels, there's an estate, I think we saw the estate. A little hard to tell. I'm gonna have to go through these other levels in my own time and see what they have to offer and show that off at a future date. But for now, we got an airport to look at. And look at this old pickup. It is indeed old. But it is not Junkyard Dog, as you might expect from the name. Alfred E. Newman has become a newscaster. Good for him. Uh-oh. I've been ejected. That's really upsetting. And to think putting Euronymous on a plane was rejected. And this face got through? You kidding me? That is the Noid as a drag queen. Which I respected the abstract, but I don't want to see that particular rendering of it. Unfinished plane. And generic 50s pinup airlines. You can still smoke on those airlines. This level also seems pretty cool. Maybe a little light on pickups. Cool devil banners. Going to Far Away, Voodoo, Scare. They had a whole long list of other cities they wanted to set Twisted Metal games in. Clearly. All the bathrooms are in disarray. And my special is this. Basically, there are like 5 vehicles where the special is just a homing missile. And this is apparently one of them. Can I go through the baggage claim? Looks like I can. Looks like it's underwhelming. Alrighty. I'll be coming back to Twisted Metal Harbor City, because clearly we haven't seen the entirety of it. And if nothing else, story mode is surprisingly well developed and worthy of multiple playthroughs. But that's all there is to see of it for now. I'm really glad we finally got to play this thing. It's extremely cool. Mission mode sucks, and it was probably always going to suck, even if it got completed and put into a final, official, Sony-endorsed, released game. But overall, I am satisfied with the 20-ish years I've waited for Twisted Metal Harbor City. We'll be carrying on with another game immediately following this one. So stay tuned if you want to see Motor Do, whatever the hell that is. But that's it for Twisted Metal. I am Fiendly. and I thank you for watching Twisted Monday.